You're listening to the Act As If podcast with Coach Roel. Real life success stories in business and investing as they happen. And now, here's your host, Coach Roel.
Welcome once again, Coach Roel here, yours truly, and I have the distinct honor of welcoming our guest for this evening's or this morning's or this afternoon's podcast, depending on what time of day you are listening to this or watching this. This week, this episode, we have Kurt Warner. He is a real estate investor, business consultant, and an active trader in the financial markets. And he is going to grace us with some of the bits of wisdom that he learned over the last little bit to getting to where he is today in his life. So welcome, Kurt Warner. How are you?
Great, Roel. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you. So a lot has changed since last time we spoke, yes?
Yeah, a lot has changed in the past, 12 months, 11, 12 months. Things have been busy getting to this point, but have been great and just enjoying the journey and looking forward to continuing it.
Awesome. So let's delve into a little bit more detail. How's business going for you? Last time I checked in with you, you had just started out your business consulting. You were doing a number of presentations. I think you had just sold a duplex, and your trading was going well. So today, how are things going? Where would you like to start?
It's been a whirlwind. So again, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different areas. So we'll start with the real estate investing, I guess. So as you mentioned, a year ago, sold the duplex. I was able to turn the profits from that into a larger fourplex, which was great. That was holding personally. But really the major thing I'm looking for the next steps, now that the fourplex, is generating cash flow, the market is still strong up here, looking at actually selling that earlier than I had anticipated and rolling that into a vacation Airbnb property. It was something that I'd considered when I sold the duplex, but with kind of the uncertainty with travel, I decided to invest in something else locally until kind of travel restrictions and things were eased off. So now that we're at that point, gonna hit that goal before I'd anticipated. I'd planned, for that to be next year, 2023, but it looks like that's gonna be reality end of 2022, which is awesome. And then on, as I mentioned, before when we spoke almost roughly a year ago, the company JFK Properties Canada that I'm a partner with had a tremendous 2021, several acquisitions. We acquired 8 residential units, a commercial property, and that kind of kicked off what the past year has been. So we've been able to invest in 15 more cash flowing residential units, all in Northern Ontario. We were able to raise, almost $500,000 in joint venture partner money, which helped us kind of progress. And now we're starting to look into some other markets and really starting to grow and expand. So again, kind of hitting those goals early for us. And now it's almost like the sky's the limit. We're starting to look into, and maybe talking to you has convinced us to look at the short-term rentals in the US to kind of add to the portfolio. But yeah, we're looking at new opportunities now and definitely see us hitting our long-term goal, which, as a business for all of us, partners, 3 of us, to be financially free, by the time that I am 50, which is, now 6 years away. So if not before. So really looking forward to that.
Excellent. With you mentioned joint venture money. What are some victories? And if you can share some numbers, that's cool. If not, that's also okay. But what sort of victories have you had with making some of your investors money as well?
Really, it's been interesting. I remember the first kind of external joint venture partner we had on a sixplex, pretty much just over a year ago. And that was the first time we brought in outside money, which won't disclose the amount, but, the returns, for her as an investor, she's, I think, at about 11, 12% for the year. And this is still us holding onto the property. So this is just a mix of, preferred return and the cash flow generated from that property. And she will also benefit when we do either refinance or sell that property and take a split of the equity and the mortgage pay down as well. So she's extremely happy. And that actually led to her talking to her friends and family. So we've been able to raise some capital there. And then really just telling our story more, which is something as a business we hadn't done up until that point. But I think getting that first outside investor gave us the confidence to really reach out to our network more, to share the stories that we've done internally. We've had properties from the beginning that have returned and had an annual return of, 80+%, factoring in cash flow, factoring in equity buildup, appreciation, all of that. And really our strategy has been, finding properties that cash flow initially that have upward potential. I think our niche has been finding properties that are, distressed and or vacant, and really trying to turn those around, market, that were rented initially below market rent, which allowed us to kind of go in and get them at a good price, or they needed some work to be done. And then, do that work, bring in new tenants at fair market rent and increase the cash flow, increase the net operating income, and therefore be able to list them for higher. And in some cases we've been able to refinance and pull some equity out as well. So that's been awesome.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now, on the business consulting side, the last time we caught up was it was just getting off the ground. You had some presentations. What's life like now with your business consulting?
So it's really weird how things work. I remember our conversation, and we'd been talking for probably a good month, maybe a little bit longer, about business consulting, and I was looking at being very broad in general, and just kind of going in different industries and trying to provide some consulting to help businesses grow, looking at more startups. And then I remember we had a conversation and you had suggested why not focus on the industry that I've been in since 2004 and have kind of gone from sales to marketing to operations to business development, and just leverage that, and also the relationships that I've built over that time. One thing in business that I believe it's very important to create strong and lasting relationships, and just to always be, honest with people that you're working with, whether they be a contractor, whether they're somebody that, reports to you or somebody that you report to. And, because of that and creating those relationships, and your suggestion saying, hey, there's tons of, companies out there, small mom and pops, or just companies starting out in the education space when it comes to real estate or financial markets, that you could take your knowledge, expertise to them, help them kind of plan out their strategy to, hit their targets. But in addition to that, the added value of, if there are missing like salespeople or trainers or subject matter experts, that you could tie them in with that company to benefit the people that I've built relationships with over the past, benefit the company, but then also, from a business start to actually grow and scale, where I'm not just relying on, that business to be paying me, a monthly amount to help them and, put the plan together, help them execute the plan, but bring in other people, that really provides them with the quality that a lot of them lacked when it came to trainers. So it's been an interesting ride. The first one was tough, and I don't consider, where I'm at, now is kind of my full-time job to be the first, but that was really the launching pad. It gave me the chance to do kind of that 3-week engagement to get to know a business, dive in, get to know the people, and then start plugging in one helping create a plan, for the following year, being involved in the budget planning, expense planning, but then start to bring in those experts that they needed to actually make that plan a reality. So, fast forward a year later with that experience, this company has now surpassed the goals that, we'd set and that I'd been a part of a year ago. And then that gave me the confidence to then reach out to other businesses. So, right now I am working with 5 other businesses in the industry. Was able to, navigate the non-compete aspect because they're, companies that aren't in our market and doing what we do, but either are in different aspects like financial markets instead of real estate, or in other countries. It's a global, mission to teach people and for people to learn how to invest in, real estate, financial markets, entrepreneurship, and kind of escape the rat race. So it also is very rewarding to know that I'm helping companies that are really trying to help other people.
Awesome. Can we delve a little deeper in some of the details if you can? You don't have to name names or what have you, but like, what are some of the countries, or is there an example outside of North America where you're able to help a small operation be able to scale up and be able to educate their local market? I remember that was on the horizon for you.
I think one, and it's definitely not kind of the biggest one that I have, but it kind of fulfilled kind of another need, I guess, of mine, which ties into what I spoke about earlier about having a vacation property. Mm-hmm. And one of the people that I work with now at my job is actually from the same island that my parents are from, Antigua. And just through speaking with him and over a few months, he was able to connect me with somebody locally that wanted to teach people in Antigua how to invest in financial markets. Obviously, financial markets is a global initiative, so I was able to meet with them, and it kind of further sparked my desire to buy a Airbnb property or a vacation property there, where now not only is it an investment property for me, but it's also a place that I can go when we have, face-to-face meetings and, tie in some business with some pleasure and vacation for myself and get that downtime. So, working with that individual, being able to take kind of a small idea and to grow it. Another thing that I really liked about what their mission was, not only to teach people as a profitable business, but they wanted to actually empower kids that were in high school and start exposing them to other forms of making money. So they weren't just thinking about going to college, university, getting a job, but to add another skill set. So through them, we're teaching kids how to understand technical analysis, fundamental analysis when it comes to stocks and Forex. Again, not at the same level that, the company's doing for adults that go into like mentoring and coaching, but introducing them to the idea. And some of them from a paper trading standpoint have done extremely well. And I know some of them will graduate to actually fund their accounts when they're able to and start trading live, which is very cool.
Wow, that is so cool. So have you already started traveling down there, or is that something that's still in the talks right now?
So I have traveled down there. I have not purchased the vacation home yet. Again, I said, towards the end of this year. So I have identified a couple properties, but as an investor, it's, making sure all the numbers work. So I'm just, being selective and making sure that it works as a business, first, and also, second, as a place that I can call my own. And when I'm down there, spend some downtime.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of downtime, on the work-life balance, have you been able to make work so enjoyable that it doesn't feel like work, or have you managed to take those vacations that you talked about a few months ago?
This year has been a year building. For sure. I have had, some downtime. I've, spent some time in Florida, spent some time in Antigua, and tried to, spend a couple of days, I wouldn't say not working, but not spending a full day and just trying to enjoy spending time with, family. Not this year, but next year, early 2023, going to take, all of my boys and grandkids down to Antigua as well, which will be awesome. So that's a trip that, we've planned and that's been booked. So I think this coming year will be, it's like the growth phase of any entrepreneur. You're busy in the first bit, you try to take some downtime, but then as you start to build, especially with the consulting business, and we haven't even talked about the trading yet, but, between those and the real estate growing, it's now given me a little bit more flexibility. The company I'm with, we're now in a nice stabilized position ahead of budget for the year. We've already planned out next year. So, it's not as fast paced as it was initially. So which is nice. So truly trying to find that work-life balance, and looking forward to the next challenge, which we can talk about.
Is that next challenge the trading, or catch me up on the trading side? Are you referring to your personal trading? Because I know in your consulting business, you also consult with people who want to teach others how to train and they can scale up their education business. So on the trading side of your activities, what's happening with that?
So on the trading side, had a good year. Not a lot of volatility. Profits are there. And going into it, the reason for doing it is to kind of fulfill something I've wanted to do, I'd say probably since maybe 2011, 2012, is to actually start a hedge fund. So not there yet, but, the first part of it was to build a track record, trading appropriately, minimal volatility, minimal risk for investors that do invest, but that's on its way. So actually having conversations with people that are also traders to figure out how we need to structure a hedge fund, what licensing we need, et cetera. So that's something that we're looking, forward to hopefully in the next 2 years. So continue trading personally and growing my account, but ultimately that is the goal. And it coincides with getting the consulting business to a place where, I have several other consultants that I've, taught and trained, and then really having a admin team, marketing team there so that business starts to scale and allows me to kind of step away from the day-to-day of that. So then I can now start focusing on, building out the hedge fund in a couple of years. One of the advantages with real estate, it's been several years now where I really don't put a lot of time into it, to be able to grow it, and also having great business partners as well helps.
Now, all those three major areas for you, if we could take a little step back from the big picture and see, or from the details and view the big picture, what would you say is the best part about everything that you've accomplished so far?
I would say the best part is I've been able to do it with people I enjoy working with. I think absolutely. All the relationships I've had on the real estate side, the consulting side, some of these people I've known for almost 20 years now. So to have those long-standing relationships, and be able to work together, have fun doing it, that has been extremely rewarding.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear the next update from you with your grand goals, and good for you for accomplishing all this up to this point. And the future of us looks even brighter.
Well, 2023, when we do this, I will be sitting in my little either condo or house in Antigua with, similar to what you have now, with palm trees behind you. Hopefully I have palm trees and ocean behind me, and looking forward to it.
Awesome. Kurt Warner, my friends. Kurt Warner, once again, thank you for joining us. Real estate investor, business consultant, and trader extraordinaire. We'll look forward to catching up with you again in the near future.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me, and looking forward to it.
You've been listening to the Act As If podcast with Coach Roel. Real life success stories in business and investing as they happen.